7 signs that he is not worried about work but thinks of another woman. When a man decides to betray his wife, his decision is not the result of the moment, but it is an expected result of the accumulation of days, weeks, months and perhaps years. How can you save your marriage from a similar decision, and how do you make sure that your husband's isolation and deep long thinking are caused by another woman, not by the work worries as you imagine? How you behave. His choice may be a proof that you are not alone in his life anymore, and that he thinks of another woman besides you. He no longer tells you about the things that bother him. He loves you, but in contrast to the many healthy methods of criticizing the other, there are thousands of destructive ways. If your husband chooses abusive phrases to express to you how upset he is about your clothes and makeup or about how you behave, his choice may be a proof that you are not alone in his life anymore, and that he thinks of another woman besides you. He no longer tells you about the things that bother him. If your husband stops sharing his worries and concerns, he probably thinks that you do not want to listen to him and do not respect what he says to you. And it is normal to be looking for another person, or rather another woman interested in him and his concerns and problems. He no longer thinks about you in a good way regardless of the woman he compares you with today. Comparison is not and will never be a positive sign. It is true that you are not a perfect person, not one of us. But you are as wonderful as you are. If your husband is unable to see how gorgeous you are, his mind is probably preoccupied with another woman. He takes a defensive stand every time you ask him about his plans. If your husband takes a defensive stand every time you ask him an innocent question about his projects or friends, his attitude never bodes well. He cares about his friendships more than your marriage. If your husband cares about his friendships more than your marriage and gives priority to the times he spends with his friends over anything else that concerns you, he is likely to find what fills the emotional vacuum in his life away from you. You feel the existence of another woman. Trust your instinct. No one knows your husband more than you do. If you notice a sudden change in his personality, look for the reason and try to correct it to save your marriage before it is too late. If you like the video, do not forget admiration and subscribe to the channel to receive all new